What up, my friends? Robin Black is back from Russia and very happy. Life is good. Very fortunate, very grateful, very, very grateful. And I'm grateful for this. Fighting is about fighting 15. Quick disclaimer. The reason I make this disclaimer is the most valuable resource that you have is time. And I want to be, appreciative of your time. I want to honor it. So I tell you that we do, and especially in the coming weeks, tons of fight previews, tons of fight analysis, stuff with John Ramdeen and David Mullins, where together we analyze fighting from a lot of different perspectives. But that's not what this is. So I just don't want you to waste your time. This was the very first thing that we did when I met Mark on the night in March. And we sat down and we said, we're going to start. I didn't have a job. I had one 3 days earlier and I didn't have one at the time. And we said, we are going to start a YouTube channel where we're going to analyze fighting. We're going to grow as martial artists. We're going to explore the world of fighting. And we are going to document that journey. That's what this is. So this final warning, if you're not interested, the reason we do this is for our own pleasure, but also some people seem to really like these. You can see by watching somebody else's successes and failures and trials and setbacks. Sometimes there's neat stuff to learn. I watch other people's paths, and some people like to watch this one, so we share it. That's what it is. So if that's not for you, no hard feelings. So the very first Fighting is about fighting. We talked about the idea of being a white belt, right? Everything you do, you start at a white belt. Everybody starts at white belt, right? Of course, there are some exceptions. You can carry something in. You did a lot of judo all your life. You're a black belt. You step in to jiu-jitsu. Some of that information that you had, some of that knowledge gives you little heads up. But you started out at white belt, and all you're doing is carrying those lessons and that knowledge, and you're bringing it and applying it to what you do. But we started at white belt. Mark had done some podcasting, never fucking done a YouTube video. I had done fight analysis on television. I didn't know anything about Instagram or YouTube or any of these things, and we thought, let's document this path. And it's been incredible. It really has. I just got back from Russia. Please check out Water, the study of martial arts #4. I talk a little bit about what I learned by studying the Chinese martial arts in a deep dive doing commentary for Wushu, Sanda. But if I'd have thought 7 years ago when Mark came to my house and we smoked a little and I have 2 of these cups, by the way, and we each broke out a Joe Rogan mug, filled it with coffee, and we sat down and we said, this is what we're doing. I would not have believed in this time I'd go to Russia twice. I'm going to China next month. You know, we've been to so many UFC events. We've sat down and done hangs with Paulie and Jorge and Dominic Cruz, and we've learned so much. 25,000 people consume our stuff. It's been amazing. Why am I talking about it? One, I'm pausing to reflect and be grateful. It's really cool. I'm compelled to do this, to keep studying this stuff. And it's hard. Sometimes you're wrong, and sometimes you fail, and sometimes you dedicate a lot of stuff, a lot of resources and time and energy to studying something that ends up being a dead end. But I love it. And I'm hoping that, because I'm just a dude and I'm just a person, so is Mark. We're just people. We didn't know how to do shit, and we went and did it. And somewhere along the lines, I'm hoping that seeing somebody do it, and we haven't done a great job lately because we've been so busy of documenting what we're learning and how hard it is or isn't, but people can do shit. I winked because the thing said wink if you're an Illuminati. I'm not, by the way. I don't even know what that is. Although my friend Michael Chavello is he's a Freemason. He's actually a Freemason. And I was like, can you tell me about it? He's like, no, I'd have to kill you. He wouldn't. And he couldn't. If he had a gun. I like iced coffee. I'm sorry if it jingles. Also, now I have a piece of ice in my mouth and I might crunch it. But we just have this great gift of being able to do the stuff that we want. You know, I'm traveling around and I'm studying martial arts. And I'm trying to share it with you. And it was hard. That's the thing. We're sitting around today and we're having a great day. And Mark's coming to my house with a few of my friends tomorrow. We're going to watch fighting. You know, we're going to New York. We got to travel with George and study him in advance of his fight. But Kevin Lee still hasn't weighed in, but it's 2 minutes left. I know you're watching this like in 2018, so you're like, what the fuck? But at the time we're doing this, poor Kevin. Dude's working hard. Good dude, too. You will see the fight. If he weighs in 2 over, he just won't get to fight for the belt. He'll still fight. But I just, when we're sitting here sometimes and we're feeling happy and we're being grateful to the universe, it's good to remind yourself that it's hard. It's okay that it's hard. It's okay that it's hard. But everything is achievable. Everything. I know that sounds a little The Secret, but it is achievable. Everything hard can be broken down into a series of smaller things. And those smaller things, if they're still hard, can be broken down into a series of smaller things. Then you just go and you do them. You know? Somebody said he is here. I guess they mean Kevin. Sorry, this is traveling back in time for you. If you're watching this, this is real time for me. That's the interesting thing about Periscope. We do this live on Periscope, but we release a cleaner, more finished version for podcasting and for YouTube. Again, shit we had no idea about months ago. Mark didn't know even how to edit a little YouTube video, a little Instagram video. Now he makes those like a motherfucker, right? We learned all these skills, and we've also failed at a lot of stuff. And I was thinking this. I'm working on a live show. The first one's going to be in Winnipeg on December 17th, and I'm writing it. And a lot of it is trying to find that story. And I'm trying to use my story of, trying to accomplish little things in hopes that people will get something out of it. Kevin is literally weighing in right now. Again, if it's 2019, you're like, fuck, what are they talking about? But it's, so I'm working on that. And as I'm examining back through the writing of this show that we're going to start in Winnipeg, I'm looking at how fortunate, I know what I was thinking. Sorry, I meander. Some of it is too much partying in the 90s, and some of it is I shouldn't have fought as a man in his 40s getting kicked in the head by much younger men. But sorry, I lost it again. But while working on this and writing this, I'm examining the path. And I realize part of the story, as we're working on it, is that 10 and a half years ago, I said to myself, I had a 10-year plan. I'm going to commentate for the UFC. Now, it's 10 and a half years later, and I have not done that. So it would be easy to, someone said examine the path. Yep. You apply your examination to your own examination. But so it'd be easy to look at that and go, I have failed. Because by definition, I have not achieved that goal in the time that I created. I think I will achieve that goal. I'm quite confident that's a very achievable goal if you keep getting better all the time. If there's some filters or hindrances or barriers, those will change, or you'll innovate around them. But so by definition, I have not achieved that goal. But holy fuck, think of the amazing things that have happened while trying to achieve that goal. You know what I mean? I've fucking traveled all over the world. I've studied every martial art. I've commentated sumo and sanda and taekwondo and karate and sambo and savat and 450 MMA fights, and we're almost probably at 200 things that we've made here, and I've done another 100 breakdowns over the last 8 years, and all of that happened as a part of the path. So it's good to set big goals. What would happen if you set a huge goal and you didn't achieve it yet, because you still have lots of life? The only way you will fail is if you die before you get there, or you quit before you get there. I'm not a quitter. Neither are you. You don't need to be. So, but what if you set a big goal, and in the process of trying to chase that goal, you don't quite get there yet, but you achieve a lot of other things, and you grow, and you learn, and you change as a person. That's going to happen. So I think that by the next time we get together to talk about what we've been doing and what we've been learning, and hoping that it's of some value to you guys to share it back and forth, is I think we're going to, somewhere in the next few weeks, we're going to set new goals, things that we want to achieve here. with our YouTube channel and the other platforms, Periscope, and the other ways we get to share ideas. I think it's time to set some new goals. I think I can't give us a blue belt. You don't give yourself a belt. But I think we've grown a lot, right? And it requires new goals all the way along. And some of those don't have to be so structured, you know? They don't have to be so structured. There are process goals, things I want to learn, or ways I want to get better. And that's what we're going to do. But man, if you go back, and some people, and we're really thankful, but I get messages from people. I'm doing a podcast next week, a science podcast from England, really great people. And they were like, we followed you right from day one when you started your YouTube channel. I'm like, wow, that's so amazing. But I just hope that nobody goes, wow, Rob Black's killing it, or, wow, you've come really far, or, well, you still suck, but you're a little better, or whatever you think. You don't just apply this to me or us or the things we're doing. This is you too. This is not complicated. Anywhere you apply effort, you will improve, But here we are 7 months later. I have a mainstream, awesome job with the biggest TV network, the biggest job that exists in the country in fighting. I work for TSN, talking about the UFC and fighting on television. I'm going there right after this, and then I'm going to New York to cover GSP versus Bisping for them. And I just, I'm done most of my work for the GSP documentary that comes out next month. I also have commentated all kinds of shows. I've just went to Russia and commentated and learned about more about Chinese martial arts, and I will go to China next month and learn more about Chinese martial arts. We have 25,000? Do we have 25,000?
Oh, we're close.
Yeah, we're closing on 25,000 real human beings, real actual human beings that subscribe and consume our stuff. And we get to study fighting every day and travel around. And we've met all kinds of cool people, and we've grown. And I couldn't be more thankful. And really, I just wanted to do this one as another little reset to stop along the path and say thank you, because that's real. It's really cool. It's been really great. The next 6 or 7 months, we're going to figure out what the next goals are, what we want to do, how we want to grow, how we want to give you value. Because sitting around talking is cool, but I really want to be able to offer something that you could use. And I hope that I do, and if I do, let me know. And I won't be able to every time. Sometimes I'm going to say stupid shit. Sometimes I'm going to try to do a good job and not do one because I'm a human being and you can't nail it all the time. Sometimes I'm going to be juvenile and act like an asshole because I'll try not to. But we're people. We're trying to get better. We're trying to learn more. We're trying to be self-aware and improve so that we become assholes less and we make mistakes less. But we're human, But we're going to do our best to keep growing and then keep sharing it with you guys in hopes that it has some value. Thank you for coming with us. Those of you who have been here since day one that watched Fighting is About Fighting 1, I fucking can't thank you enough. It's so cool that we live in a world where this is possible. And those of you that are new, that popped in at different times, thanks, man. It's fucking cool. I'm incredibly lucky. I spent a lot of time on the plane back from Russia thinking about how amazing life is and how lucky we are to get to do these amazing things. And I'm going to do my best to share it with you. So if you check out my Instagram, it's at Robin Black. I gathered some interesting things from Russia. I'm sorry I didn't tell you before because my stories, I'd follow all around and I took stories, but those disappear in a day and I can't put them all up on the main thing. And follow on Periscope because you get to see the stuff first if that's of interest to you. And please consider support in any way. It's valuable. We'll try to give you some value for it on Patreon, patreon.com/Robin Black. And message me anytime and tell me what you're getting out of this, if anything. And thank you for hanging. Next week, depending on when you watch this, but after this, we're going to focus in. We're still going to explore details with water, explore martial arts on a deeper scale as best we can with water. But we're going to focus in on a lot of fight analysis for the next few weeks. Got Ramdeen coming in next week. And a couple weeks then in New York. We're going to get a lot of stuff in New York. We'll get George. We'll get Jorge. Jorge's fighting Wonder Boy, eh? Can't wait to. Maybe we'll start breaking that down next week because we're going to do 2 or 3 on that one. We'll get some George up next week. It's going to be fun. But thank you for giving us the chance to do this. It's really amazing. Can't thank you enough. Black out.